Hey guys, it is me, Jay Stone, Master Brand Coach, and I have a message for you today. So let me start with giving you guys some important information. So, in my life, I'm 47 years old. I'll be 48 later this year. And I have to say that I've had to deal with some hurtful, uncomfortable, tragic situations and tragic losses in my life. I mean, if you ask me, I feel like I've had, an overabundance of tragedies compared to other people that I know. But I think everybody feels like their life is like that. And in this time frame, I still have had to come up with, the energy, the focus to still make my business successful, still sustain my quality of life. I've still had to make sure all of that stuff happen. And so in order to do that, you have to have an air of resilience about you. But one of the other things that I've had to deal with is really, really, really being mindful of how I use my time, okay? How productive I am in a day, how much time and focus I give myself to get things done, because maybe part of the day I have to take my dad to the hospital when we were taking care of him, or take him to therapy when we were taking care of him. So I had to get a lot of stuff done in the morning so I could do that, have a free afternoon. When my mother was in hospice, I had to figure out how to be at the hospice with her and still find time to get my website up, And right now, I am at Cancer Centers of America with another family member, and we got the diagnosis about 2 weeks ago. And so, I had to put in an extra amount of work over the weekend so that I could be here for these 3 days for the whole orientation and be fully here and fully present and not distracted with what I got to go back and do. So there's a few benefits that have been helpful to me. One being that I have the kind of business where all I need is a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection and I can be wherever. So that's one benefit to this lifestyle. And the other thing is creating the time and space for me to work and show up. But here's something that you can't always manage, and that's people and how people will waste your time, right? And so there's a lot of things that I do that won't allow people to waste my time, okay? And I'm just going to show you guys, while I talk, I'm going to show you guys, this is a very beautiful, picturesque place, and I just want to share it. So if anybody, this is in Noonan, Georgia, if anybody is with cancer, I just like their approach to everything and how they are. But I want to show you guys how beautiful the space is. So this is just the courtyard outside, and it's got seating space and things like that. So anyway, back to people wasting your time. People will waste your time if you let them. And so here's how I manage that, right? Because I have to be in control of my time for two reasons. Number one, I don't have a whole lot of it, okay, because of what's going on in my life. And number two, we don't have a whole lot of it because life is short, okay? So I don't accept bullshit meetings, right? I'm not going to have a meeting with somebody just for them to figure out whether or not they want to work with me. Follow me online. I got enough content out there. If you want to have a quick conference call, we can talk about that. Come to some of my events, participate, build a relationship with me over time. But I'm not going to sit down and meet you for lunch and let's just sit down and talk and synergize. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit down and give you 30 minutes of my time for us to talk on the phone for me to see what you do and you see what I do. No, I take a more organic approach to building relationships, and that's just really several interactions with you over time to see if you're somebody that I can build trust and build a relationship with. So I don't do that. I don't have meetings with people to determine if they want to work with me. I have certain times a day where there's a free 15-minute consultation, fit into that time schedule, or don't fuck with me. It's really that simple. If I date with intention. Okay, so when people say, oh, let's just be open and see where it goes and go with the flow, I'm not fucking doing that. Going with the flow. I don't have time for that. I don't have time. I have to be intentional with everything about my life, because being intentional is how I get results. Being intentional is how I determine where I end up. People will waste your time if you let them. Okay, so I had a guy, he reached out to me on Twitter and he was like, so what do you do? Here's a link to my website. I'm not going to even give you that kind of time, because I got to be over here. The cancer centers at 8:15. You don't get that kind of time, right? So make people be clear about their intentions. Don't come in my inbox with the hi, hello, how are you? What kind of day are you having? Hope everything's going well. Don't give me that warm and that fluffy shit. I don't need it. You need it, give it to me, but you're not going to waste my time with me trying to figure out what you might want or potentially could want from me. Be clear about your intention when you step into my space. Now, people who are intentional about getting results, people who are busy, people who are high performing, and people who are successful all feel this way, whether they actually are as bold as I am to say it or not. Okay? Whether they're as bold enough to say it or not. And so that's kind of where I am, and I just think I needed to share that, because I think people feel like they're entitled to have your time and your access, and we feel guilty for saying no sir, no ma'am. Don't feel guilty for being selfish with your time. Your time is the one asset that you can't get back. You can get more money, right? You can lose more weight or gain more weight or recycle your health and things like that. Once the time is gone, you can't turn back the hands of time. You can't turn back the hands of time and get that back, right? It's the most valuable asset you have, other than your peace of mind and your health. It's a very high on the list of assets. So treat it as such, and stop giving your time away to people who don't earn it, who haven't deserved it, and who don't mean you any good. That's it for me, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.